Hello, guys. It's your host from the Bratz Review Show. Just to let you guys know, I am a little sick, so my voice is going to go in and out every now and then, or it's probably going to die off. Um, that's why I got a drink here today. So let's fire up this review. This is why I'm trying also to be easier on my voice. Excuse me. Today's review is the final episode of Gamers, episode 12. Now, what they're all going on a trip. For the Gamers Meetup Club is going on a trip, and Tendo lays down the law that the boys will be sleeping in one room and the girls will be sleeping in another. They'll be sleeping separate, and there'll be no flirting between couples, none. And Urahara makes fun of Tendo's outfit because she's a little what you'd say a little overdressed for the occasion. Her response was that it's a typical outfit for a woman, which Chiaki just hears that and looks down, kind of slumps. But it's fine. I mean, Urahara's happy that Chiaki's actually coming along and is enjoying her time. And they get there, and they start talking about how expensive games are and DLCs and all of this. And because we've already experienced that, with EA, Battlefront 2, Destiny 2, Destiny, Bungie and all that. Not that I'm calling you guys out, but I'm calling you guys out. Come on. And I'm so sorry. I am fighting through this the best I can. Um, they're trying to explain it to Aguri that even though what DLCs are, why they're so expensive, using all these different analogies to where she just still doesn't understand. It's like, oh, so what you're saying, games are shit. It's like, oh, so gamers are masochists. That word. Just liking, enjoying the fact that you're punishing yourself playing a game and you're getting off on it. I can't even say the name because of my voice and because of this cold. Or whatever the heck it is. Ah! And they try to explain it more. Tendo and Chiaki try to explain it more and have. I mean, they even tried to bring in manga into the fray. That's something she would enjoy. And even though it's like they're playing games, they're playing a card game and still trying to explain it, and she's looking at her phone talking about how bad this game's reviews is and oh and whatnot. It's like Destiny. It's like Destiny and Battlefront, which I hate to bring up those games and use them as an example, but it's like, okay, you get in the first Destiny there was no story, not really at all, but you get a really good shooter, but then the DLCs make you have to repay $60, the entire $60 again to be able to play the DLCs. When you've already spent $60 on the game itself, The frustrating fact is that with the first Destiny, you had to pay an additional $60, if not once or if not twice, to play the extra DLCs. And then you've got Destiny 2, which it does have a storyline, but unlike its predecessor, you can't go back and redo every single quest that you did during storyline. You can't do that. It only gives you can go to Ikora and you can only go to 3 quests, right? Of what you've already done. There is some side quests that you can do, but it's boring. But it's still a good shooter. First person shooter, it's still a good first person shooter, but it's like it's got its own loot boxes, these engrams, these silver engrams, these bright engrams. I mean, it has its own loot boxes where you have to pay real money and to get special items or cosmetic stuff. Same thing with Star Wars Battlefront. Or you can, we have this special gun. I mean, if you spend real money, you can get this gun and be number one in the multiplayer. You be the best. Be the best guy, and it's like an unfinished product, basically. Like the entire game is an unfinished product, and they're hiding special things or cosmetic things or all these little things behind paywalls. That's what I'm trying to get at. And gamers like us, especially hardcore gamers, get frustrated because they have to spend even more money to be able to have access to it. And especially with Destiny 2, they have 2 expansions, if not 3. I don't know if there's a third one. I know there's at least 2 that cost at least $30. But if you spend over $100, you can get a pass and you can get the expansions basically for free. And Battlefront 2, $100. There you go. It's that street pass. Hey, you get all this stuff for free. Wow. Wasted $100 there. That's nice. How about $200? How about that? Because I seen some of the stuff by looking through it. All of this stuff. All of that. Whether it's Battlefront 2, Battlefield 1, or Battlefront 2, or Battlefield 1 Revolution, or whatever. GTA 5. Um, Destiny 2, some of these games would cost over $100 to $200 for the expansions, for the DLCs. Yes, games are getting more expensive now. So the consoles. Sooner or later, the games might cost just as much as the consoles. But games, the main reason of why they're trying to explain it to her so she understands. And eventually she uses the analogy that games are like desserts. So if you want like extra whipped cream or sprinkles or anything that you like ice cream or anything like that, it or whatever, caramel, whatever. It's kind of like that, but you have to pay a little extra. Same thing if you go to Taco Bell, you want extra lettuce or sour cream or anything like that, you got to pay an extra 50 cents or whatnot. But that was the whole meaning of it. And Amano's like, hey, I mean, it's like this. My parents bought a crappy rip-off game of a game that I actually wanted. Even though I didn't have the heart to tell them that it was the wrong one, but I played it anyway, and eventually I started liking it. The moral of the story is that games are flexible. You just learn how to enjoy yourself and have fun with something that you might not have enjoyed right away or when you first bought it or when it was first given to you. And Like Chiaki agreed with it, and yeah, there's some picking on here and there, especially between Amano and Agri, and jealousy coming from Chiaki and Tendo and Urahara, which was hilarious. But uh, another part of it too about this episode, that one of the characters that we met in the very first episode, Masumi, we get somewhat of a over exaggerated backstory narrated by himself, and he has no memory really of what happened. He said it was an accident, but yet you see him basically butt naked in an arcade playing a game, and when he came to, he has no memory. He's running around, walking. He hears a girl scream. This girl's like getting attacked by men in black. He attacks the man in black, saves the girl. The girl's family and good heart adopts him. That he becomes he lives under the name Misumi Eiichi, and he gets glimpses of his past of all these tests and scientists and doctors and all this stuff. But yet you really don't know, like, who really is Misumi Eiichi. Who is he? That can't be his real name. And he's in the total video game tournament, and he's okay. I have one more match, and I'll be in the semifinals. And this opponent just happens to be his adopted sister, or the sister who adopted him, basically. And she's like, "Oh, you're not with Tendo Karen because he mentioned that she gets upset if he talks about another girl." And she's like, "I'm going to prevent you from getting to the semifinals." I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't hold anything back, so bring it on. Bring it on, little sister. And they go at it. But the conclusion, you don't know who wins. That's how it is. You don't know who wins. And Aguri finally understands, basically. She says that she's not going to, diss games anymore. She's not going to say anything bad about them, and it comes, and everybody's excited about it. Everybody's happy, and she does somewhat understand how games are so expensive. It's like, because at first she's like, well, games don't seem really useful. I mean, clothes are more useful than wasting your money on games, but yet games cost just around as much, if not more. If you think about it, in Japan, like, they cost like 6,000 yen or 10,000 yen. Same thing for clothes, could be 6 to 10,000 or 6 to 12,000 yen or even higher. And especially here, with you get certain bundles that might cost up to 100 to 150 to $200 for just the game itself, and the DLCs or the other expansion packs or all these cosmetic things or special items, and all of this is basically, it's an episode that's also fun and hilarious, and it also kind of explains the what gamers would go through, or what they would rant about when it comes to games, DLCs, expansion packs, and all these other things that go on. And I mean, it's like this the conversation when the girls, like, fan service, when the girls were in the hot spring bathing while they're trying to explain it to Agari. It was just totally funny because Amano or Tendo would say something, not Amano. Tendo would say something, and then she would look at Chiaki and look for her to agree, and Chiaki would just, I got no comment. And then Chiaki would talk about just say something completely opposite, almost like terraformers, like gilliformers, like, oh, you got fish or whatever. I mean, she must be obsessed with fish and fish games. That must be her interest, but yet still, she's got something like that of an idea, and she looks to, like, Ugly says, like, well, I get that, but yet, I don't know. And she looks at Tendo to, like, have some sort of agreement, and Tendo does the same thing. Shut up, phone. And it's just, that part itself was kind of funny. And anyone would like a little bit of fan service, especially at that point. And it goes to the part like, hey, they're getting ready for bed, for that end of the night. And Tendo comes in with her sleeping bag in the men's area, puts it down, sets it up, yeah, ready to go. And then Chiaki and Amano grab her sleeping bag, her futon, and drag it out. And Tendo's on top of it, just like, just, kicking. And then Aguri does the same thing. She goes to the right of Urahara and does the same thing. And gets called out by Tendo and says, hey, that's against the rules. And I am so sorry. I'm trying to get through this review, even though I'm not feeling the greatest, so bear with me. And there's one moment where Amano accidentally bought a game that he didn't want. It was called Elder's Hunt. It's a creepy horror game for 5 people to go on, and he's like, yeah, I can't return it either. They won't take it back. I wasted a lot of money. And that's kind of how they started out the whole money and the buying and DLCs and all this stuff. It's kind of how the whole conversation really started. And at the end was like, okay. And I was like, okay, we finally got to understand it. We finally, like, who wants to stay up with me all night and play a 5-player game, Elder Hunt? Everybody's like, good night, good night. I want my money back. It's so funny. And that was pretty much how the last episode ended. Even though I'm sick, not feeling the greatest, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully I can get rid of this cold soon, so I can get my voice back, because it sounds terrible even to me. And I give this episode an informative 8 out of 10. And the overall review for this entire Gamers season, for season 1, I'm going to give this entire Gamers season 1, because there better be a season 2, a 10 out of 10. So if you have not heard of this anime and you've looked at these reviews that I've done, I ask that you go check out Gamers. You can either go look at Funimation.com and look at it. They have all dubbed episodes if you're into the dubbed. Otherwise, you can find both of them here on YouTube. And I hope you enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun. It's got great character growth, and it's pretty fun. It's a really good anime, so I highly recommend it. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys for right now. Now it's time to cool down and kick this cold in the butt. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.